Hello everyone, I'm very happy to welcome you to the Change Makers, our series of open discussions on innovation in the industry of stainless steel. The race to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050 requires everyone's energy. Experts, governments and the media keep repeating it. Everyone must activate the most effective decarbonization levers in their activities. The stainless steel market in Europe has a powerful lever, its stock in use of stainless steel and its production of scrap, and therefore recyclable material. European players must leverage this lever as much as possible to achieve the strongest decarbonization effects. Those who do not act now will be caught up by regulations by 2026 onwards. Today, we welcome Grégory Omaro to discuss the changes undertaken by Aperam and specifically the remarkable closed-loop process that Aperam has implemented. Good morning, Grégory.
Good morning, Eleanor.
So, Grégory, since January 2024, you've been the manager of the Closed Loops program at Aperam after more than 26 years of experience with the company. First of all, what is Aperam in a few words?
Aperam is a major stainless steel producer with industrial footprint in Brazil and Europe. And more recently, Aperam has fully embraced circularity. Why? First of all, stainless steel in Europe is mainly produced from scrap, so this is the first part of our circularity. But on top of this, recently Aperam has acquired a company, ELG, with a scrap collector, to reinforce this part. Also in Brazil, we have invested in our own forest to produce our stainless steel over there based on charcoal that we produce with our own forest. We have modified an old melt shop that we have in Europe into a site to recycle dust, which is called Recyco, and in which we can recycle nickel, chromium and molybdenum, which is contained in the dust. And last but not least, the last acquisition in circularity is in a joint venture, Botanical, which can capture the nickel which is in the soil thanks to plants that we are growing and harvesting. So today, we are fully in the circular economy with more than 25% of our workforce, 3,000 people, in this activity of circularity.
And I mentioned this famous closed-loop process. Can you tell us more about this and what it consists of?
Yeah. So, as I mentioned already, stainless steel is produced in Europe mainly from scrap. So this is our raw material. And the beauty of this is that we can recycle it indefinitely. And the more we use stainless steel scrap in our recipes to produce stainless steel, the less we are using product coming from the mine with a very much more important environmental footprint. Mm-hmm. So this idea of closed loop is to ensure with all the stakeholders we are working with that we will gather as much as possible scrap for our recipes.
So it's simple, and yet you're entirely dedicated to this expertise. What is your mission?
Yeah, you're right. The concept is very simple. In practice, as a lot of simple things, there are tricks and there is a complexity. Here, the complexity is to have all the stakeholders in the chain working together to improve as much as possible the way we recycle stainless steel and to ensure that we are not losing anything so that we consume less product from the mine. Mm-hmm. And my role is the coordination of these stakeholders, internal stakeholders, but also external stakeholders that could be customers or partners to collect these scraps.
So you talk about industrial challenge, but what are the difficulties today?
The difficulties, there are three major difficulties. The first one is there are a lot of players using and transforming stainless steel and a lot of very small players collecting the scrap. So we have to coordinate them to ensure that we can gather all this scrap at wholesaler, and the role of this wholesaler will be to aggregate the volumes and also to test that the quality of the scrap is good enough because we are sorting correctly the product. And the last challenge is to be able to have at the end an efficient logistic towards our melt shop where we will reuse the scrap to melt again stainless steel.
But today you have already secured the supply. Why is sorting so important?
Yes, you're right. We have secured the supply because we have acquired ELG, which is a wholesaler and is gathering a lot of scrap for us so that we can increase our scrap ratio. But the importance of sorting is because if you do not have the right composition when you collect the scrap and if you have some pollution, then when you arrive in the melt shop and you make your recipe, you will have to compensate this disbalance of ingredient, if I may say so, by adding more material coming from the mine to come to the exact chemical composition and then to have the normal property we need with our stainless steel.
Yeah, so it's painstaking work. How far can we go in recovering all the stainless steel that human activity has produced?
Yeah. In fact, we have a huge responsibility in Europe because, as I mentioned at the beginning, we have a lot of stock in use of stainless steel in the product that we are using, in the equipment that are installed in the industry. And also, we still have a strong industry transforming stainless steel in Europe. So this is generating a lot of different scraps. The old scrap when we are at the end of life of the product, and the new scrap when we are during production. Any gram of stainless steel that we can recuperate, whatever the channel, end of life of new scrap, will improve our scrap content in the production, and then will reduce drastically the quantity of material coming from the mine and consequently the environmental footprint.
And there remains a huge project involving the entire industry, designing products that from conception facilitate not only repair but also dismantling?
Yeah. In fact, there is a regulation that has been already approved by European Union, which is about eco-design. The aim of this regulation that will come up on stream from mid-2026 is that when we design a product, we think long-lasting, durable, repairable, end of life, we can recycle it fully, so that globally the impact of all the product we are using will be reduced and put us in the trajectory of the plus 1.5 degrees from the Paris Agreement. So with this project, the part of the conception that will allow at the end of life of a product to dismantle it easily, to separate the different product, the different element of the product, so that we can recycle them, each of them, in their in the relevant industries. And for scrap, stainless steel scrap in our industry, will contribute to enhance the scrap ratio we can use in our melt shop.
Well, your sense of environmental responsibility is really revolutionizing your activity. It's admirable.
Yeah, I don't know if it's admirable. At least I am very proud to work in a company which is focused in this direction. I think stainless steel is a wonderful product because it's very durable, and I just can give one example. When I was born, I received stainless steel tambal, and I have transmitted them. I had 3 of them. I've transmitted them to my daughters. So it means that they have more than 50 years, and I'm quite confident that in 50 years they can still be used. So the product is really very durable, is fully recyclable, and the more we will recycle it, the more we will work together with all the stakeholders, acting in responsibility, the more we will all contribute to mitigate this issue of climate change.
Thank you very much, Gregory. If you had a final word to mobilize all of those listening right now, what would you say?
I would say that the challenge, even if the concept is very simple, the challenge is big and we need to work all together. I think it's not just a question of Aperam or another company working on its own on this topic, but it's a question of mobilizing a full ecosystem of stakeholders and having everybody working together, understanding that we can, even with some small improvement in the scrap ratios, drastically enhance or reduce the environmental footprint we have. So I'm very happy to further discuss this with all the people interested in this topic.
That's great. Thank you very much for giving us details on closed loops. Thanks again, and see you soon for new episodes of our saga, The Change Makers. Of course, as you know, if you have any questions to ask to Gregory, please contact him.
Thank you very much, Eleanor.
Thank you.